Hello, my viewers. Welcome to another episode. I'm here once again with Father Gaetan, and we're to talk about something which is plaguing our world, but more importantly, something which might or which is already in Africa. I know how much Father Gaetan loves our beloved Africa. That is why I feel that it is important in this particular point in time to listen to what he has to say regarding coronavirus vis-a-vis Africa and the African world.
Thank you, Nelson. The coronavirus now, even babies know about it in our home, etc., etc. It has become, and you have new songs even on coronavirus. I've seen like in Nigeria, in the park, people dancing corona, corona. So it is a reality in our world now. Of course, we never expected this one to happen. It is happening, and what we have to do now, from criticizing our governments, like in Africa, we can criticize our governments that they did not take enough measures to prepare themselves for this coronavirus. But it's already in, like we say in my mother tongue, death is already in the house. So what can you do? You can prevent more damages. And we like to say in Africa and in all the countries I have been, you hear this, prevention is better than what?
Cure.
Cure. Prevention is better than cure. So what are the measures we can take to prevent more damages? So it's where we can now, add something more to already the instructions that have been given in different countries. There's a lot of instructions. And the danger is that there are too many things going on, being said on the media, being sent on our WhatsApp messages, that people are even confused, And this is worrying for Africa. We are hearing people doing all kind of traditional concoctions of herbs and all that, and purging themselves, which can bring a lot of dangers with it, So we have really to be careful. What can we do? The first most important thing that we have been told is what? Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands 20 seconds with soap. The sanitizers and all that is good, but at home we know we have soap, isn't it? Wash your hands. One. Second thing, social distancing. Hey, you're too close to me, huh? At least 1.5 meters, Keep that social distance, because when the person sneezes or coughs, it can even go more to 2 meters, the saliva, the droplets. Mm-hmm. But so when you keep that distance, it helps. Okay? These are some of the basic measures we have been told by the governments and the health officials. What can we add to that? Sociologically speaking, when we look at how the virus spread around the world, there are two groups that spread the virus. The first group is the youth. Why the youth? We looked at it. In China, when they put the restrictions were strict, and we know Chinese, it's no joke, it's a communist country. But in the democratic countries, when they said the restrictions, people stay at home, what did the youth do? Like in Italy, they went for the aperitivo. That means that a drink. They went for the beach to celebrate, while the authorities are telling them stay at home. And during these celebrations, of course, you are drinking, you are exchanging the drinks, you are touching the cups, etc., or you are swimming together. The disease spread. And this was a very, very serious thing. And this thing is still happening, and is a danger for Africa. Africa is the youngest continent we know. And when the young people do not take it seriously, that's the way it will spread. And especially that for us young people, I'm 40, young people, you can have the disease, you can have the virus without any sign at all. Which means that you may have it, you have no signs, but you spread it. You spread it. So this is one thing. The second group is religious groups. If you looked whether in China or Korea, and even in Burkina, for example, from where I come, the patient zero was a pastor, and it has spread from. It wasn't the only one, but really it has spread from in his church a lot. So religious groups, and we know in Africa we like to pray. We believe in God. We think that one of the tools for prayer, for fighting this disease, is prayer, isn't it? So you will have pastors who will still hide themselves with their congregation to pray. You have even cases of priests, like in Uganda we've had, who went to church. We have other cases like that. This is very bad. We have to follow the instructions of the authorities and the health leaders. Avoid big gatherings. When they say avoid prayers, avoid being gathered in locked places of more than 10 people, avoid it. Especially when you say a prayer group, people come from different parts. You don't know who is contaminated and who is not contaminated. If I just go and say, oh, I'm not feeling a headache, I'm not feeling dizzy, I'm not coughing, I don't know if I have it or I don't have it. So that's the second group. That can be dangerous. We have really to follow, let's pray at home, let's be in communion at home, and this will help to fight the disease.
Thank you for those points you've mentioned. I would like to ask a question. My question comes an example. I was talking to a friend of mine back in Nigeria. I was like, you have to stay at home, respect what the state is saying or the government is saying. Stay at home. And the question he asked me was, stay at home and eat what?
Well, this is a serious issue because, in most of our countries, people live a day at a time. Stay at home and really eat what? That's where also, solidarity is important. And we know nobody really in Africa will starve if we exercise this solidarity among ourselves. Of course, like in this case, people selling food and goods, essential goods will still continue a bit. But people who are doing work every day, they have to go and find some work and do, it's more difficult for them. But this is a time to exercise the solidarity among ourselves. And in all our countries, we know there is M-Pesa, there is mobile money. We have to exercise this solidarity to help one another to stay at home. It's very important.
Wow, I think that's a really, really important point. And this point on solidarity is being emphasized everywhere in the world.
Exactly.
We Africans, one thing we are known for is our communality. No matter where you come from, we must strive to remember that we are one. And solidarity makes things easy. It makes it possible for we to overcome these challenges. Yes. So I'm telling my friends out there, we the young people, we can put an end to this. Stay at home. Wash your hands, as it says. So get a soap, get water, wash your hands.
Be creative, in front of the houses before people come in. Put a small jerry can of water and soap people before entering the wash. They are doing that a lot in Burkina, which will help a lot fight this. For example, one issue again thinking of Africa is our grandmothers, our aunties, our uncles who don't understand this. How do you explain this coronavirus to them?
Exactly.
The good thing of Africa, though we are poor, we know that we don't have the infrastructures, we know that many years ago we have been prepared to fight Ebola. So most of the countries, people have been very much aware of Ebola. If you tell the people, this is like Ebola, huh? Yeah. The disease, the consequences, the way it is manifested is not the same. You say it kills like Ebola. Mm-hmm. The danger is what we say, oh, it's like a flu. Yeah. But this is more than a flu because people die, So if you give them the idea it's like Ebola, then they know it's dangerous. They know already measures that governments are given to fight Ebola. And they are almost the same measures, you know. And for our aunties who are selling in the market, we know for hygiene, for example, I come, I buy something with you. Generally, they will even put gloves, you know, to show, we are very clean. But my auntie, I go to shop, I buy something. She takes the money here. She puts it down. The same hand that will even take the food with the glove in it. So what's the difference? This happened to me 2 weeks ago here in Israel. I went to buy shawarma. No shawarma.
Yeah, I know shawarma.
I gave the money to the boy. He received the money with his right hand. He had the gloves on. He put the money. I thought he would remove the gloves, put the new one, and take the bread and serve him. You know, it's the same glove he used. I told him, hey, tamhil. No, you have to remove the glove, wash your hands, and serve me, or put a new one and serve me. So this is a very important aspect also. And we know in Africa, our mothers do that a lot. Coronavirus can be on the points, etc. That's why you need, when you receive it, you put it down. I would even say put gloves and put it down. I will even say, I'm not exaggerating. I told my mother, because my mother sells. You put gloves, you receive the money, you put the money in a container, and after all your selling, you know what you do? Boil water, 100 degrees more, and pour the water in these coins. I'm not saying not
Into the coins.
to the coins, okay?
Yeah.
To kill any possibility of corona in those coins.
Yeah.
And then those coins that you are going to clean, you put that aside. The coins that you are going to be receiving, you separate that so that they are not mixed. And from where do you get your money to give the change? From the money that you are sure is clean. Nobody talks about this. But
That's a good one.
this can be a reality also.
I think one thing which is very beautiful is that it is a simple method. It is very simple. And that is where our personal responsibility comes in.
Exactly.
So please, I don't think Father has invented a lot of new things right now. He has spoken to our hearts. The simplest way he knows that our people out there can understand. And it was for you and I to let our grandparents and our fathers be aware of what is going on. Tell them it is like Ebola. You know, you're not scaring them, but you're just making them aware of the reality. And then give them simple methods to care for themselves. Like change the gloves, wash your hands, use hot water, you know. So thank you, Father, and